Okay, hello guys, and welcome to the Alif and the Typewriter podcast. Okay, today we're gonna talk about a software requirement specification, and our main project are UniSZA Confession. Before we move on, I would like to introduce ourselves. Okay, my name is Muhammad Amifdaus. I am a system developer, and our project manager, Muhammad Alif Izzuddin. System Analyst 1, Aman Naim. System Analyst 2, Afif Azim. And our another system developer is Muhammad Ali Udin. Okay. For the project, as a normal SRS, we have a scope, requirement specification, and solution specification. Okay, we move on. First, system overview. All of you can see, user conversion is a student speak and express their opinion and ideology loudly as long as they do not conflict with the rukun negara. It's a platform that asks student UniSZA to speak loudly about our opinion. Next, for public statement, we make UniSZA Confession because we see that we left of encouragement for students and a session platform with huge audience for students. Okay, next we move on to the next. Is objective. We have public statement and now we have objective. But for the objective, we want to build a social platform for UniSZA students and start to speak their opinion loudly or make a living where they make a living things. Okay, next. For the scope, we have two scope. There is user and a system. User usually you can know for the staff and the student, and system is cover whole of the Malaysia organization. Okay, as you can see, organization structure. I already taught yearly. First, roles and responsibility. Okay, for project manager, it's a normal for project manager to responsible and make a decision for this project to make a project success. System analyst is to maintain and upgrade the existing system and also make a documentation for the system. And for the system developer is for the back end of the system build and test the system to make it successful. Okay, next. Okay, yes, this software development environment. Okay, for hardware with normal tools like laptop and personal computer and software, normal software to build a system like Notepad, XAMPP, and Dual IO and others. Okay, next. For the software development library, we use a Google Drive, WhatsApp, and Discord to store our data for the system. Okay, next. Amma, can you explain about the functional requirement? Apip, sorry, functional requirement.
All right. So configuration identification it consists of two things: elements and configuration. So for the elements, the first one is functional requirements, and the configuration we have the user, administrator, and system. So for like user, we got like till for functional requirement. For administrator, we got six functional requirement, and for the system, we got nine functional requirement.
Okay.
So this non-functional requirement, so basically same as the functional requirement, but it's has a different component. So for non-functional requirement, it has seven component is security, reliability, availability, performance, availability, portability, maintainability, and flexibility. Okay.
Okay, for the schedule, I will pass to the Mr. Amanaim. Can you continue?
Okay. As we can see, the schedule of Gantt chart here are the what we call the start of the project. That is 21st October 2020 until the end of the project expectation. We expect we end in week 14. That is closing and presentation. So as you can see in the milestone, there is flow of the project start from initiate until the closing until the week 14 the end of the project lah.
Okay, for the functional requirement of user administration and system, I will pass to the Mr. Afif. Can you continue?
Okay, for user, basically user can log in into the software, create updates and delete their data, and but with a limited privilege. Okay, so next we have administrator. So for administrator, they can log in the system but with a full privilege. All the basic function as the user is the same but with a full privilege. Okay, then we have the system. For the system is the overall system function which is to verify and validate the login data from the database and monitor all the data from the user and the administrator. So for non-functional requirement, I will pass to Ama.
Okay, for the non-functional requirement, as I there is 7 functional requirements. So the security is a system that can make encryption to the password every single user. Reliability is the quality of be trustworthy and performing consistently. Okay, then availability that is the system that available that can be used anytime 24/7. Then the performance that is the system is fast response lah. That can take not more than 5 seconds to look into another screen. So the portable is the ability to be easily carry or move. That is, you can use the system in any machine or device easily without any problem lah. Then the maintainability is we can make the system backup data without any problem. And the last is flexibility. The system provide user and admin to update their profile without any problem for sure.
Continue, Mr. Alec.
Now let's look through the context diagram. There are two entities in the system. They are user, community, and administration. The center is a process called UniSZA Confession. UniSZA community, they have 4 outgoing: registration, logging, write content, update activity, and advertisement. While ingoing data flow is information and add slot. Then for administration, there are one on each outgoing registration and ingoing registration, verification, and contents filter. Okay, next is
Data flow diagram. Okay.
data flow diagram. This is the data flow diagram. For this data flow diagram, they have two entities which are user and admin, followed by 4 process which is registration, content, activity, and advertising. User need to log in or register. User also need to write data for content, activity, and advertising, while admin will get data from user. Then, admin also can filter all the content in all data store.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to the database. For the database, we have a ARD, Entity Relationship Diagram, and will be explained by Mr. Aliuddin. Please continue.
Thank you. Okay, now I will explain database. This is our entity relationship diagram. As you can see, we have 6, 7, 8 data tables. Here's our data dictionary table. First, we have a user community table. Then we have our administration table, our contents table. Then we have advertising table, activities table, content URL table, and lastly, content tags table.
Okay, I think that's all from UniSZA Confession team or Alif and the typewriter. Okay. Anything to say, Mr. Manager Alif?
I hope this system can give benefit to student of UniSZA. That's all.
Okay, that's all. Thank you. Before we end the podcast, I would like to say, stay safe, everyone. Stay at home. Wear a mask. Use a hand sanitizer, and
Kita
kita
pasti
jaga kita.
menang.